quite a lot of acoustic influences where I'm a big fan of Paul Kelly and Neil Finn, and I guess that comes through in some of the songwriting that I do. These guys come from probably a bit more of a rock and roll background.
We're desperately trying to rock him up all the time.
A nice balance. Now tell me how you actually met in the first place, if you guys are more rock and you're more sort of acoustic folk.
Well, these guys, they can probably tell you best, but they've been playing for over a decade together, so they were well and truly established. And then I came along and, I think the view was that I kind of was a parasite, attaching myself to them like a leech, but... Since
my
then,
younger brother.
Since then, they've realised that I'm in fact the talent, and I'm actually carrying it. So.
And the humble one of the group too.
Yes, unfortunately, he could write songs. We could all write songs as well, but he could write them just that little bit better.
Okay,
And,
so as
taken over songwriting duties.
Okay, so as the Telltales, how long have you actually been together now then?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
That'll be right.
And you've been doing quite a lot of gigging, Wollongong, Newcastle, around Sydney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
How are you finding the live music scene in Sydney, particularly at the moment?
Not great, it has
No.
to be said.
It's great. It's just very hard to get into.
Yeah.
There is a good acoustics scene that has been growing over the last couple of years, and because we can do the acoustic thing and we can rock it up a little bit as well, we can fit into the acoustic gigs, which is, it's a good scene around Sydney. There's a few places that are promoting acoustic acts and songwriters.
And of course the basement is one of the premier places for that too.
Indeed.
Of course.
Yes,
Acoustica.
absolutely.
Yes.
Now, I was listening to you do your first single, which is Absolve You, and it was so absolutely stunning. So before I get you to play it, can you give me a quick sort of prelude into how that came about, what it's about?
I don't know what kicked it off, but it's supposed to be just about, all the crappy thoughts that you think about people. Well, maybe that's just me. And partners in relationships and that kind of thing, but saying that these are kind of fleeting things, and you've basically got to forgive each other for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a good lesson. So without further ado, I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure everyone else out in cyberspace at thebasement.com would love that as well.
Okay.
Thanks for Telltales.
If you dream of others when the lights are out, wonder if we're right and harbor secret doubts, I will absolve you, my dear, absolve you. It may shock you, love, if you scold me out behind. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. It may shock you, love, if you scold me out behind. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. And we all have thoughts like that. Yeah, we all have thoughts like that. All our small betrayals, the involuntary kind, we were made to make them, pay them all no mind, never mind. I will absolve you, my dear, absolve you. It may shock you, love, if you scold me out behind. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. It may shock you, love, if you scold me out behind. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. And we all have thoughts like that. Yeah, we all have thoughts like that. Like that, like that. cruel and petty secrets. Thank God we can't read minds. Keeps it all within us. No one never finds. I will absolve you, my dear, absolve you. It may shock you, love, if you scorn me, I burn. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. It may shock you, love, if you scorn me, I burn. I'm just like you, I'm flesh and blood too. And we all have thoughts like that. Yeah, we all have thoughts like that.
I'm going to just give you a solo clap, but this is on behalf of everybody who's logged on and listening to
Oh, bless you, Penny.
Telltales, you legends. That was just so spectacular. Really, really, really beautiful. And something so raw and truthful, both in the lyrics and also the way that you guys come together as musicians. There's a subtlety but a power to your music. Is it something, well, that's how I feel as a listener, is that something you're kind of conscious of?
No, they're always telling me to try and give it a bit of oomph.
It's a good quote for the website,
I
though.
think also Toby writes very, very good lyrics, and,
Yeah.
and we're also, I mean, apart from the fact that he writes very memorable melodies, he writes lyrics that you know, are a pleasure to sing and a pleasure to play, because you feel like you're talking about something rather than just, you know, saying the
Making
same
noise.
Exactly, and it's almost like it's not sort of this statement of, you know, yada yada, everyone feels like this. It's this kind of, you know, like really nice reality as a musician that you're telling the story, but you're feeling it too. Do you know what I mean? There's an honesty and a truthfulness, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say about your music that is so refreshing and lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, pleasure. This is the album, everybody, the Telltales, and you got a whole lot more songs on here. So what else do you feel like playing for us today at thebasement.com.au?
We're going to do one called Flying Juice now.
This is the ultimate acoustic version.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we should say that this is probably not representative of what we do live, because we've got a kit and amps, obviously, and so we're trying to do a bit of an a cappella thing at the moment.
I do a bit of both. We do the a cappella sometimes, and we do the full band sometimes.
So when people come and see the Telltales, you'll do both this really lovely acoustic thing, but you'll also rock it up, i.e.
yeah.
your influence, fellas.
Yes, there is a rhythm section.
Okay, so we're talking a nice balance between female and male energy.
That's-
Because I'm tapping into the female energy, you know I'm loving every moment of it. But for the fellas out there who want a bit more alpha male, you deliver that as well. Okay, let's take it away.
You're old enough to try this now, said father to his boy. But you must give your vow, don't use it like a toy. It's magical and mystical, 'twill lift you off the ground, I'll fly you up among the clouds, where wind's the only sound. Take a sip but not one more, for some have come to grief, for drinking more than needs to bring them sweet relief. Free to fly, free to go, wave goodbye. Free to fly, free to go. Fly, 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 fly. The boy took the cup from his father's hand, took a tiny careful sip, and soon the spell began. His feet they floated off the ground, and to his dad he cried, I am no longer bound, I'm heading for the sky. With a well and happy spin, he shot into the air, and left behind all things like work and pain and care. Free to fly, free to go, wave goodbye. Free to fly, free to go. Fly, 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 fly. Every day from that day on, He drank more precious brew. Every day flew higher still as flying sickness grew. His father wept and cried aloud, "Return to those you love." But his voice came only soft to the boy so high above. Now the boy remains up there among the distant stars, a smile still on his lips, his body cold and hot. Free to fly, free to go, wave goodbye, free to die, free to go. Bye bye, bye bye. Free to fly, free to go, wave goodbye, free to fly, free to go. Fly, 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 fly.
That is completely exquisite. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Now, the album, is it available at all good music stores?
It's available at Red Eye Records at the moment.
Lovely. And online as well?
Yes, it
Absolutely, if you go onto our website.
Fantastic. Now we should talk about that website. It is www.style.com/.
No, .au.
.au, okay, /Telltales.
That's
Oh,
right.
brilliant.
www.style.com.au /Telltales.